Welcome to the Ricky Mathews Show from the Citizens Bank studio, which today is located in Town Green in Biloxi for a live remote. We're coming to you live today on a beautiful day here in coastal Mississippi at Town Green in Biloxi, celebrating Cruisin the Coast. Cruisin the Coast, this incredible event that shows off coastal Mississippi like no other event in Mississippi history. You think about the hurricane that's bearing down on Florida as we speak, Hurricane Milton, and the unbelievable devastation that those people are going to face. So I wish we could sort of can this moment, Cruisin the Coast, and bring it down to them to show them that there's going to be hope after what they're about to experience there in Florida. We have them in our hearts and our prayers. But if you think about what Cruisin the Coast means to coastal Mississippi in terms of showcasing what we've been able to come back from Hurricane Katrina, these beautiful cities that make up coastal Mississippi. What a great event this is. So I appreciate you joining me today. I've got a series of wonderful guests today. And my first guest is someone who is not just someone who has made a tremendous contribution to coastal Mississippi, but he's also a friend. His name is Pete Vicari. He owns Vicari Auction Company. The Vicari Auctions at the Coast Coliseum are part of Cruisin the Coast, and an important part of it. Pete, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning, Ricky. I'm doing fine.
Isn't it beautiful down here?
As you were just talking in your opening statement, I was looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
There's not a cloud in it.
No.
It's beautiful.
No. And you think that just literally due south of here right now, one of the strongest hurricanes on record in the Gulf of Mexico is bearing down on our friends in Florida. It's kind of hard to have fun when you think about the somberness of contemplating what those people are going to go through. But here we are, and we get to celebrate coastal Mississippi. One of the things I always notice as I walked up even today, I saw that people polishing their cars, the pride of the people who own these cars, how they enjoy displaying them and getting to say hello to one another. So many of them have been here year after year after year. There's an amazing amount of pride here right now, isn't there?
There is. These people pour their hearts and souls and their checkbooks into these cars, and they really appreciate, what they can show off now. And, they enjoy it, and they come from all over the country. I think I spoke with Woody yesterday. 41 states are now here.
Yeah.
And we, even though, the hurricanes are going in Florida, there's still a bunch of people here from Florida that evacuated. And one specific lady told me she lost her house and her business, but she was not going to miss Cruisin the Coast.
Wow, that's incredible. We, as I mentioned, one of the most important parts of Cruisin the Coast is what happens at the Coliseum. Pete, you've been a part of Cruisin the Coast from almost day one, haven't you?
Yeah, day one, we had a sale already scheduled in New Orleans at Boomtown Casino. And I told the guys there, I said, yes, I'm on board. I'll work. I'll do whatever you want. So year 2 is when we sold the Imperial Palace collection. And ever since then, we've been at the convention center. And it's just been a great partnership endeavor with, the whole board there and all the volunteers. Because, we could not do this with all these volunteers.
No.
There's hundreds of people out on the street working with Woody and the whole team and us and all. So, it's been a great venture here.
Over 700 volunteers that come from a wide range of places, but especially the car clubs. The commitment they have to make, because the Cruisin the Coast staff, I think it's 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
It's amazing they're able to accomplish this and keep the volunteers fired up.
We have the same thing. I have 3 full-time employees that handles the paperwork and the sales and the titles and all that mess all year long. When it comes Cruisin the Coast, I got to bring in like 60-something people from all over the country.
Wow, that's incredible. How's this year shaping up?
This year is we have the most cars. It's going to probably be well over 500. Yesterday it was like 510, and then people are still coming and registering. We have some great cars this year, unbelievable cars.
So you go to the Mississippi Coast Coliseum Convention Center. You have literally outgrown the convention center now, haven't you?
We have, and the auction is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So when the square foot of the building is just so big, you can't push out a wall. So we have to lay out the floors with Friday and Saturday cars. Thursday is just in the aisles. So we fenced in a parking lot right outside. So once the Thursday's car sells, then we can move them kind of outside and give some room for spectators. Because, I mean, we always have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 spectators come into the auction, just spectating, not bidders, just want to look around all the cars.
Wow, I've had the opportunity to go before, to go to your auction before. It's a really cool experience. You think about when someone goes there, explain the experience that they will have.
Well, we have a lot of first-timers, and I love to see those people because we walk them through the process. But, we get them registered. Even if you're not, prepared to buy, Keesler Finance is there, and they can approve your bidding war chest, let's call it.
Yeah.
Your limit. And then we walk them through the process because it can be a little intimidating when you're bidding against somebody. And we walk them through that. And to see the excitement when they win a bid and they high-five and they laugh and they cut, it's just, everything we do in there is filmed. We on MAV TV. And they get to see themselves on TV, buying the car, and it's hilarious. It's a good time.
And the general public, when they go, give us some of the key times and when to be there and that kind of stuff.
Okay, we open every day at 8 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the auction starts at 10 o'clock every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Wow. That's good.
Now, in the swap meet also is there also that I sponsor. So they come opening morning, I mean, the lines in the lobby are just to the front door.
Wow. That's exciting. Listen, in addition to the great Vicari auctions that's taking place at the Coliseum and Convention Center, you and your sons made a tremendous investment in a luxury RV park on the beach in Gulfport at Cowan Road. We'll actually be there live tomorrow. SuperTalk team will be there. It's a special place, isn't it, Pete?
It is. Ricky, I've been coming here since I was a kid. I mean, my mother and father used to take us here on vacations 2 or 3 times a year, and I really love this place. And I love it in a sense, and then I'm going to say it. I bought your house.
Yeah.
And you built right next to me, so we're neighbors. So I really love it here. And I told my sons, I said, this property, it was kind of off the tax rolls, I should say, because it was a developer kind of went bust on it. And I said, this would be a perfect place to do an RV park, but upscale. And it's completed. We built it in 5.5, no more than 6 months. Everything turned out absolutely gorgeous. And we've been having people, not just for Cruisin the Coast weekend, but we opened in April. We have people from Kentucky, Oregon.
Wow.
Because on social media, they've seen it on the Gulf Coast, and they've never been to the Gulf Coast. And they came down. They loved it. They said, we've been to parks all over. We love this place,
Well, I posted at the Ricky Mathews Show Facebook page a YouTube video. So if you want to go look at it, and if you're on Facebook, go to the Facebook page and see the video of the RV park. If you're not on social media, just go to YouTube and do a search on Gulfport Luxury RV Park, and a video will come up and it will take you on a tour of the place. But you took you made a huge investment, I might add.
We did.
Took a lot of care to make sure that the amenities were there to support a luxury RV park.
I would ask all the listeners out there to spread the message to people that are here in Cruisin the Coast to, if they see somebody burning out and all that stuff, tell them, hey, that's not the place for this. Okay? Because the reason why I'm saying this, Saturday night, burned out in front of the place, took out our wrought iron fence. Went right through the fence.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Lost control of the car.
Yeah, and it's like, and it actually wasn't the guy that did the burnout didn't hit the fence. He pushed another guy to get out the way. The guy didn't want to hit one another, and they took the fence out.
Oh, man.
So it's like, please, let's have fun. Let's be safe out there, There's a drag strip down the street. Go down over there.
Right. Pete, you have had, you've been, again, you mentioned working with Woody, being committed to this over all these years. You've watched it grow from around 300 cars to 10,000 cars. It's incredible what's happened here, isn't it?
It is. And, I contributed to, the Gulf Coast is one and the same. I mean, it's beautiful. And the southern hospitality here, I mean, it's grown to something that it's not out of control yet, but we just need to polish it a little bit and continue it on with the future.
Yeah, it's exciting. As I said, the Cruisin the Coast is an opportunity to showcase all of the cities from Moss Point and Pascagoula over to Bay St. Louis and Waveland and all points in between. Each of these cities has its own unique sense of place. Even if you're from here, go take in what's happening in Bay St. Louis. Go take in what's happening in Moss Point and Pascagoula, Biloxi and Gulfport. I could name all the cities because something's happening in all the cities.
Well, Ricky, I just thought of something. I got probably a dozen customers that have been coming for years. They've bought second homes here.
Oh, that's what you call economic impact.
Yeah, it does.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I've enjoyed visiting with you, Pete. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We've got a list of terrific guests coming up in the next several minutes as we continue the Ricky Mathews Show. We'll see you after this break. Ricky Mathews Show from the Citizens Bank Studio as we continue to celebrate Cruisin the Coast from Town Green in downtown Biloxi. I just had the opportunity to visit with someone who's been on the show many times, but Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross. He's with the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, and he's been flying into Milton. His team is down there as we speak. I look at the Hurricane Hunters, incidentally, as literally heroes, the fact that they're doing that. And at the end of this segment, he's going to stick around for a second, and he's going to join me for a couple of minutes and say hello. But now I'm thrilled to have Commissioner John Caldwell from the Northern District. He's with the State of Mississippi Transportation Commission, and someone that I've been looking forward to chatting with. And you're a collector. You're here as a participant.
Good morning, Ricky. Yeah, I've got my 63 Buick Wildcat down here cruising the coast, so that's it's fun times, great weather, and just great people having a fun time down here.
John, have you been doing this for a long time?
Just a few years. Yeah. And just had my 63 I've had since 1979. Wow. And so it's been a while getting it back into shape where I could bring it down here with everybody else's beautiful cars and trucks out here. It's really nice. Yeah,
I was around cars most of my life. My dad was a collector. He had older cars. He had a 1919 Senator, Model T sedan. He had a 1925 Chevrolet touring car. He had a rumble seat. I mean, he had a Pierce Arrow.
Well, and that's kind of where I came into it. My dad was a collector, and he had several cars, and started with the 1925 Ford and just worked his way up to 57 retractable hardtops and just had a big collection before he passed. And without him, I can't rebuild a car without him, so I have to pay to get help done on those things.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, so look, what does Cruisin the Coast mean to you? What's your experience like? Tell us about it.
Well, it's just such a good, happy place. I've never seen. I mean, if you overheat or break down, somebody's right there because they've all been there with you. And so there's a camaraderie. There's just whether you're young, old. The amount of cars and the types of cars and trucks is just fascinating. I mean, from brand new to the old classics and everything in between, the rat rods, and it's just really a fun place to be.
One of the things I note, and you're a political figure, you understand what it's like to interact with people. One of the things you see when you're here is the pride of ownership, how many people know each other. There's a true sense of camaraderie in this event, isn't there?
Absolutely. And, of course, it's from all over. And so you start looking for the people from the farthest away. There's a lot of people from Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana especially, and Texas. And so you kind of expect those, but then you start seeing them way up from Northeast and the Midwest and coming down. It's really a fun time to meet people. And I've met some that say, look, I'm here every year. I've been here the last 15 years in a row, but I never bring a car. Yeah. Because I just want to be able to enjoy everybody else's. And so they'll come and sit on the green and get their lawn chairs out and just have a big time visiting with folks. And
well, when I have Woody and Rob on the show, we talk about, starting out around 300 cars. Now it's around 10,000 cars. The number of cars that don't register, is they wish everyone would register. But, see, this is about economic impact. So the more people we bring, the better. It's amazing how many people are drawn to this.
Yeah, you really need to register, and I'm not registered yet. Yeah. But when I got in yesterday, the line was,
long.
Pretty significant. So we're going to find a time when the line's not as long. But, yeah, you got to find a time to get in there and register because it does mean a lot. And the economic development impact is huge.
Yeah, Centennial Plaza, what a great headquarters for this. A beautiful campus.
Of course, I've said we would do this up north, but our roads are too bad up north. So I need to get those highways fixed in North Mississippi so we can cruise some of these low riders up there. But right now it's a little rough.
Yeah, how are you doing as a transportation commissioner? You enjoying it?
Oh, it's good. That was a question I got from the day I got elected, but within minutes almost of getting elected, COVID-19 hit, and so it wasn't fun to start out. The first 2 years was kind of difficult, but yeah, it's getting a lot more enjoyable. We're able to interact face to face, obviously now, where we used to not be able to do that. So that's. It's been a really good run, and we just wonderful people at MDOT, wonderful people in the industry that are building the roads, helping us get it taken care of, and other commissioners for that matter. I mean, Commissioner Busby down south has just been a phenomenal addition to the commission. Commissioner Simmons in the Central District has been so great to work with. Our Executive Director, Brad White. It's a great team that we've built, and we're proud to be able to do it.
I think you have. Brad White's been on my show multiple times. He's been a great leader of that organization, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. People sometimes don't understand how much the executive director runs the show from day to day. While we're setting policies and priorities and getting out and meeting the people and keeping that connection with the voters and the constituents and the mayors and the supervisors and the representatives. So there's an important part that we play as commission, but we count on that executive director to run the show. And so it's a really a nice fit. It's more of a corporate model, I guess, than most government entities can have.
Well, listen, John Caldwell, it's been a pleasure to meet with you.
It's good to meet you.
Yep. And enjoy your time at Cruisin The Coast.
Oh, without a doubt. I will have a good time today, and you too.
Okay, thank you. So, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross, come on up, Sean, and we'll switch out these headphones real quick. Thank you. It's good to see you, John. And, Sean, this is kind of a gratuitous visit that I have here, because Sean is with the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron. He's a hurricane hunter, and he's been on my show before, and he was incognito until he made himself aware to me, and I couldn't help but bring him in. As I said, I consider hurricane hunters true heroes, especially this time of year. The damage and potential loss of life of Hurricane Milton this is going to be a devastating storm, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, it's pretty powerful right now. It's very strong, Category 4. I think this morning, last time I looked, it is forecasted to dissipate some before it makes landfall. But the problem here with this storm, like any other ones, when it gets so broad, the amount of surge that gets pushed, and that's what we really try to preach to everybody. It's all about education and outreach, and the winds are one thing, strong winds, but the storm surge is what kills most people, because that's what the big killer is during a hurricane. It's drownings, just like we had here in Katrina many years ago, that we all lived through. So people really, really need to pay attention to the emergency management officials in their communities. And if they're totally evacuated, you really need to listen up.
Sean, this thing, it ramped up to a 5, and then it went through an eye wall replacement, and then it ramped up to a 5 again, and it stayed a 5 for an extended long time. What is it like to fly into a storm that's so healthy like that?
Every storm has its own unique personality. They're all different. You can get really beat up really bad in what I would call tropical trash when a storm is trying to develop. But when you got a storm that's really powerful like this, when a Cat 5 and beyond, it's super, super strength. I mean, they were talking 180 mile an hour winds, and the eye was extremely tight. At one point, it was only like 3.5 miles across. So you can get rocked pretty good. And the crews I've been talking to and some friends of mine have been up in yesterday, and they said they got beat up really, really bad. I mean, I've experienced that with landfall of Hurricane Michael back in 2018, which was a Cat 5, made landfall in Florida Panhandle, and we just got really, really beat up really bad, especially on the last one, because the storm was going through rapid intensification, and whenever you have that, the eye wall can get really, really nasty.
Yeah.
And we got beat up, just going through and just following the pressure gradient, because we fly at 10,000 feet pressure altitude. the pressure was so deep in Michael, we literally bottomed out at 8,000 feet above the water, but our instruments were still reading 10,000 feet. So that's how big the pressure drop is in these storms. So I imagine they were experiencing the same thing in Milton. Scary
at night to go do that, man. Scary at night. You get used to it. I guess you get used to it.
It's another day in office for us.
I don't know. I've told you one day I will go fly with you guys. I really need to make that happen. I'm not sure I want to go into a Category 5, but maybe if you're going to do it, you might
as well go all the way.
You might as well go all the way. You got a team, I think, a couple of planes at a time flying in there, right?
Right. So there's us, the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, right here at Keesler Air Force Base. We're the only operational unit in the world that does this in the military. And then there's also the Civilian Corps, NOAA Corps out of Clearwater down in Florida, and they're flying the P-3s. And you've seen them on the news a lot with Miss Piggy. That's one of the nicknames of one of the P-3s. And they've got some good footage of those guys getting beat up in some pretty severe turbulence. They were actually on the national news last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they got rocked pretty good. So it's a big team, and then they have the G4 aircraft, which flies like synoptic track, really high altitude, and they drop signs. So there's a lot going on, especially when you have a storm of this magnitude, and it's going to make landfall at such a...
Well, listen, I was watching, on Tropical Tidbits, we can watch your planes live.
Yep.
And we know you did a drop zone yesterday that gave a 902 reading and a 180-mile-an-hour wind. Now, I think you typically drop a second one to confirm or something like that. And then the Hurricane Center decides what they're going to do in terms. They did eventually call the 902, but not the 180. I think they stuck with 165. But bottom line is, unbelievably powerful storm.
Yeah, it's a very powerful storm. It's going to cause a lot of damage for sure. And just, again, the people that are listening, if you're out there in harm's way, pay attention to what your civilian counterparts are telling you as far as emergency management, because they're the experts on the ground.
Well, listen, on behalf of a lot of people who live in Gulf Coast areas, Sean, we appreciate the work that you guys do.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ricky. Always a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having
this
the
is
squadron on.
Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross from the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron. Man, this guy's, I don't know, how many storms have you flown in?
Oh, I've got almost 180 penetrations
of
major hurricanes.
Man,
there's people with over 300. So
yeah, that's incredible. Yep. Listen, we'll see you after this break with more of Cruisin' the Coast and some terrific guests. We'll see you after this.
All right, thanks.
Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show from the Citizens Bank Studio, which today is located as a live remote at Town Green in downtown Biloxi, celebrating Cruisin' the Coast. Incidentally, before we get to the CEO of Coast of Mississippi Tourism, Judy Young, I just want to say how nice it was to have the opportunity to visit with hurricane hunter Sean Cross, for him to make himself known to us. He was kind of incognito. But here's a guy that's been flying into Milton with his team. He's got team members down there as we speak, flying into this incredibly dangerous storm, and for the sole purpose of trying to help as many people save life and limb and property as possible. It's an amazing story, and we're lucky to have that squadron here at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi. So now let's move over to my friend Judy Young, the CEO of Coast of Mississippi Tourism. And she's got a smile on her face, but you can understand why. Cruisin' the Coast is a seminal event for Coast of Mississippi, isn't it?
It is, and it's an anchor event for the entire state. Part of the fun is if you're coming down to the coast from the northern part of the state, that's your route, you're going to be every 4 or 5 miles, there's going to be a welcome cruiser sign. And so the economic impact reaches throughout the state. Yeah,
Pete Vicari from Vicari Auctions was telling me that a number of people who have come here to participate in Cruisin' the Coast and his auction have ended up buying homes here. So, and I said, well, that's economic impact. That's what you want to see. To think that this thing grew out of a small effort to create activity in what was essentially kind of an off-season, around 300 cars to 10,000 cars. To think that it's become that kind of event. And, Woody and his staff's a small group of people, the volunteers, your team, and your staff. When you get to pulling off an event like this, it takes a lot of people to make it happen, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, when your venue is 62 miles, you got to have some folks that are vested and that really love it, and they're there because it's a great thing for the entire region. And that kind of economic development is what sustains so many businesses. I've had lots of small retailers tell me that this rivals Christmas for them. And so that's the trickle-down effect of that first dollar spent, which is, $36.8 million.
Yeah, it's incredible. Huh?
It is incredible. And I am always stunned that the major anchor events that we have been started by local folks for a reason, and they've stayed with it.
Yeah.
I mean, how folks don't get just burned out with the effort that it takes is amazing, and they're always happy, and they get a lot of that Southern charms in terms of endearment.
Well, your point about Christmas is a good one. I have actually Mayor Billy Knight joining me next week. And one of the things he said to me yesterday was that his goal as mayor of Moss Point is to have 5 events that are equivalent to Christmas every year. So you've got Christmas, and then the next one he named was Cruisin the Coast. And then he named 2 or 3 others that are goals of his. But it really does have that kind of economic impact, especially for a community like Moss Point. And as Woody and Rob pointed out to me, people are sort of leaning toward these great places like Moss Point to kind of set their anchor down during Cruisin the Coast because this unique view they have of the river and this quaint town. But each city has that same opportunity, don't they? And they take advantage of it too, don't they?
Lots of flavor. I mean, if we were making gumbo, there'd be 12 to 15 different recipes and different kinds of Southern charm and great views. I think the thing that makes those events so incredibly important is that it's importing new dollars.
Yeah.
It's not a payroll, which is essential with that money spinning around in the same community. It is new money that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Yeah.
And so that's exceptional.
Well, it is. I love the way you say gumbo because the reality is coastal Mississippi as a region is a powerful force. We've talked about this many times. It's an economic engine with Ingalls and Chevron on one end and Stennis and the blue chip industries that are part of that, and all this economic development and hospitality that happens in between. When you think about the collection of coast communities, and really they each do have their own unique sense of place, but the collection of them together creates an experience. So you can take the drive from Bay St. Louis to Moss Point or to Pascagoula and really take it all in and have. If you lived here and you haven't experienced it in a while, it'd be a great staycation for you, wouldn't it?
It'd be fantastic. And, that's a big push for us this holiday season is why not be the hosts for your family and bring them all in and enjoy the different vibe that the coast has during the holidays.
Yeah.
There are some events and some food that before I got here, had never tried. And, the level of deliciousness.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. You got Harbor Lights in Gulfport, one of the best displays like it in the entire United States. And now you've got lights in the trees, the live oaks and Ocean Springs. What a great experience that each city has their own flavor to that. But what a great time to invite family and friends to coastal Mississippi. Well, just in general, when you look back on this this vacation season, what are some of the headlines?
I think that one of the major headlines is the growth of family reunions. This past season was truly family reunion season, and we put together thousands and thousands and thousands of welcome packages and helped family reunions that are not small in scale. I mean, they're 60 to 300 people. And when you start compounding that during a season, it's really great, which means we have diversified our product to the point where we can deliver a great experience to every generation.
Isn't that great?
It's tremendous. I mean, it's a true diversification of product that brings families together.
One of the good things about not having a significant tropical system of some sort here in coastal Mississippi, I do say that knowing that the hurricane season is not over.
Yeah,
but let's hope it's over for us, is the fact that as you drive down Highway 90, the beach, the sidewalks, the views, they've not been prettier in my view. The beach is in beautiful shape right now, isn't it?
It is. It's tremendous. The beach cruise and the Parks and Recs cruise are kind of the hidden secret to the gumbo. They just make the ambiance. I've traveled all over the world. I've not been to a location where they take this much pride in a anchor attraction that is it makes the settings.
Yeah, the way they strain it, the way, this wonderful documentary that was done recently, Mississippi's Hidden Coast, to go out and spend a little time on the tractor, seeing the care that is taken to take care of that beach. People don't realize the kind of machinery, the kind of dedication, the people that it takes. It's an amazing part of the overall success, isn't it?
It is, and they're out there all the time, and they are so conscientious. I see the leader of that group all the time. Early in the morning on my way to work, he's out there picking up, refuse and getting it out of the median, and they're so dedicated, and they have such pride of place, and that's what we hope for everyone.
I see you have Miss Mississippi in your booth right here next to the SuperTalk booth, and other key members of your team. It's an exciting opportunity for you to showcase what you're all about, isn't it?
It is, and thanks for mentioning the team. Yeah. They're really extraordinary and go above and beyond all the time. They're so precious and so fantastic. And, what would this be without some sparkle from the state with Miss Mississippi? She's been amazing. She's taken a lot of pictures next to a lot of beautiful cars.
Yeah.
We actually got her in the yellow vehicle that's in front of us, the Bel Air, I think. And the steering wheel was like, it's this big. And they were laughing about whether she would have crown room in it. So, but I am looking for my favorite T-Bird. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to have to cruise.
Oh, good. You're a T-Bird liker.
I am.
Speaking of Miss Mississippi, I had an opportunity to meet her earlier, and she's traveling across the state with so much pride as she gets to know more people across the state of Mississippi. It's a beautiful place. And, the Coast of Mississippi coordinates well with Visit Mississippi and all the other organizations. You think about the Blues Trail and the Country Music Trail and all the other amenities and attractions of Mississippi. When you add it all up, this is a great place to visit, isn't it?
It's a great place to visit. So many other destinations, they have great anchors, but then there's not an ability to hub and spoke out of that and not be on the road all the time. You actually get, hundreds of destinations in this 62-mile stretch, but the consistency is the people that are delivering the experience.
Yeah.
It's like nowhere else. And I say the terms of endearment. This morning, I zipped into Harrah's to get coffee at the Starbucks, and she was like, "What do you need, baby?" And I said, "Okay, well, this is what I need." And the lady who made it said, "It's ready, darling. Come on over here."
Isn't that awesome? You can't make that up. Hey, just in closing, Judy, I think about where we're sitting now. The water during Hurricane Katrina was over 20 feet deep. Mm-hmm. And I think about the people in Milton. I said earlier, I wish we could can this and send it down to them so they could see if they can get their head above the disaster they're about to experience. There is hope. This is a great opportunity to showcase what is possible, isn't it?
It is, and I'm very proud of the region for doing all that they can for the last folks who had the hurricane impact. Yeah. And we'll be watching for our neighbors and seeing what we can do for them as well.
I know we will. Judy Young from Coastal Mississippi, as usual, it's a great opportunity to visit with you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, when we come back, we got FoFo Gilich, the mayor of the city of Biloxi, be joining me. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show from the Citizens Bank Studios. We come to you live today. The studio's at Town Green in Biloxi, celebrating Cruisin the Coast. I enjoyed visiting with my friend Judy Young from Coastal Mississippi Tourism. She's doing a great job of leading that effort with her board of commissioners. That is a 3-coast county regional effort, and her whole team is here with Miss Mississippi. And just cool to see it, all the cars. And now I get to visit with one of my favorite people, the mayor of the city of Biloxi, FoFo Gilich.
Well, great to be here with you. I'm telling you, what a day, huh? What a day.
Isn't it amazing?
It is.
And when you think about our poor friends down in the Tampa region and what they're about to experience, and, of course, here we have blue skies and a beautiful day, man.
Day. That's right.
It's kind of sad to think about what they're about to face.
Well, prayers. We've been praying, and we're feeling what they're going to feel, and we're going to help like no other. I think we'll be crewing up. We did for Helene, and I think it's sad, but it's. We're just saying
we'll find our way to help them.
Yes, sir.
You saw that, or maybe you missed it, but Lieutenant Colonel Sean Cross from the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance passed through with a hat on incognito, and I said, "Whoa, Sean, join me," and he did for a few minutes, and they talked about flying into Milton. He's got a team down there right now. Are we not lucky to have the Hurricane Hunters?
I'm telling
Keesler,
you,
man?
I can hear them when they crank the engines ready to take off.
Me too.
And that's just so wild. And even my grandkids, before they fly into the hurricane, yeah, absolutely. And no, we're so fortunate for a lot of ways, and right at the top. So
yeah,
couldn't ask for any more.
Keesler, we tend to talk a lot about the economic engines, of course, Chevron and Ingalls and Stennis and hospitality. We probably don't talk enough about the military and CBs and Keesler and what they bring to places like Biloxi, for example. It's unbelievable.
It is, and what they're going to bring. I mean, the future is so bright. We're about ready to move into an agreement where the old main gate, White Avenue, we're getting probably the strongest cybersecurity training facility, $40 million worth of training facility right there at White Avenue, right next to the cemetery.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, that's where the war is going to be fought in cyber.
It is.
And then we're going to be right in the middle. They train 6,000 airmen a year in cybersecurity. Now they're going to ramp it up. Mississippi State is tremendously involved with the curriculum and actually administrating, but it's going to bring a tech sort of a center that will attract not just military but other things. So we're really excited about that. Probably some supercomputing and so forth that will be happening there.
Well, in terms of economic impact, to have Cruisin the Coast and all these cars and people at Town Green and beyond today, it's really important to the city, isn't it?
It is for the coast. Like you said, we've got folks every year. Hey, what, y'all going to do it again? Yeah, we've been doing it for 20-something, 25. Right. Yeah, we're going to do it again. And I can remember, the early days when around the old Buena Vista Hotel in the parking lot behind it, behind the hurricane room in there, so they kind of started as, gestation, I guess, but then it became formal and big.
Well, Pete Vicari told me that a couple of people who lost their houses in Florida during Hurricane Helene are here with their cars.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
What's important, man?
Yeah. they didn't want to miss that. He said for the auction, there were about 10 cars that weren't able to come, but in the scheme of things, that's not bad.
Pretty good.
He's got more cars this year at the Vicari auction than he's ever had. Yeah. It's going to be that successful of an event.
It's awesome. I'll put my 2 cents in there. My wife won't let me buy one, but it's like Mardi Gras. You got to see it. You got to see it. Same thing like this is.
Well, she does well to keep you on a leash on that deal, probably. Yeah. Because it's hard. It's easy to fall in love with some of those cars, I know.
It is.
But when you look out over here and see the beautiful cars all shinied up with all the people who have so much pride, as you point out, so many of them know each other. It's cool to see that, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. And it's on the top, the biggest in the country. Matter of fact, one of the conference for mayors, Hillary Sheevey is the mayor of Reno, and I talked to her about Hot August Nights, which kind of, but she's wanting to come down. And I said, well, anytime, but I didn't get a chance to connect with her for this time, but we will. So it's cool all over the country.
Hot August Nights, really one of the big inspirations for Cruisin the Coast. She would be amazed at what this has become.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got that, she knows, hey, Biloxi and Reno are the same in a lot of ways. I ran into her in Hawaii. That was where I first met her. But she said, we got to talk. We're in the same business, same kind of small town, not a Las Vegas kind of application of things. But, I'm so excited to be here in my hometown doing what I'm doing. And you go anywhere, Biloxi. That's all you got to say. And so I'm real proud,
Well, walking around with you, I'm sure it's a little bit like walking around with Elvis. I bet everybody knows FoFo. I joked, and you may remember, I walked around with Woody once, and it was like walking with Elvis. Everybody seemed to know who Woody Bailey was. But we're lucky to have him in that role, aren't we?
Oh, man. I mean, like you said, stars came together. Things came together. And it's still pretty hot, about where the future is going to be. And do it the right way, and, you got lifetime, attraction.
I know you do. Listen, this has been the mayor of the city of Biloxi, my friend FoFo Gilich. Listen, before I sign out, let's just keep the people who are in the unfortunately the route of Hurricane Milton in your thoughts and prayers. They're going to need all of those. And then in the aftermath,
God bless them. That's right. We'll be there.
We'll come together to try to figure out how we can help them. But have a great day, and we'll be enjoying some time with Gerard here in just a few minutes. We'll see you later. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.